What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. So today I have a story for you guys. I recently went down to San Antonio, Texas, where my partner is from, and I had a great time down there and everything. And my dumbass wanted to. I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to visit the haunted tracks. Little backstory: I used to live in a haunted house for 11 years, so I got pretty used to seeing and hearing and feeling and all this jazz. And we actually had to move out of that apartment because my sister was attacked. Whole different story. It was crazy and everything. I can leave that for another video. But anywho, I've always been into like ghost stories and all that jazz. Because it was just so integrated into my life and whatever. So anywho, I used to do a lot of research on this because I was like, am I crazy? Am I going insane? Whatever. Found out I wasn't insane, you know. Some people have these abilities more than others to see, feel, hear, whatever. So anywho, while down in San Antonio, I was like, oh my gosh, I've always read about or like heard about the haunted tracks. Oh, down in San Antonio. So I was like, let's go. And so there I go with my partner. He's like, let's wait until midnight. Everything happens at midnight, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, let's go at midnight. And I was kind of like, I was pumped. I was like, yes, we're gonna go see this. So legend goes that you're supposed to,
The legend goes what?
The legend is that a bunch of kids, may they rest in peace, were hit by a train, and they were on a school bus and all the kids died. And then now it's said that it's rumored that these kids will push your vehicle if you're on the tracks. So that's essentially what we were trying to provoke the kids. So anywho, we went, and I remember like driving up there. Mind you, everything's dark, and like I'm not used to seeing the freeway as poorly lit as it was in this area. Driving towards the place. So I was like, oh my gosh, like this is kind of crazy. And yeah, so we get to the, like, driving on the highway, miss the exit, keep on going to the next exit, and I'm just looking outside the window and stuff, getting the chills. I'm like, ooh, why am I getting chills? So we turn around and catch the right exit, go, and then we turn into like a residential area. I was kind of surprised that it was in this area, the tracks were, and so we went down the road, and did I just hear something? Place, we get to the tracks, and my god, it was creepy. Like, I was trying to get all of the info that I had once read about it out of my head, like all that jazz, because I was like, you know, I want to experience this to the max. But I noticed that there's a car to the left side, so when you go in from that private residential, you automatically see the tracks. It gets really dark and stuff, and there's, oh, before you get to the tracks, actually, there's like this house with this weird ass fence. It's like something out of a horror film, and you're just like, I was like, oh my god, what is this? What is this right now? And so I just get chills, like even talking about it and stuff. So we get there, and my husband's like, okay, so what's the spiel? Like, he didn't know what we were gonna do exactly, like what the story was, what the myth was. So we get to the tracks, we see the car next to us, and we're like, we're kind of sketched out. We couldn't really see the people inside, but we knew there was like I knew there was about 4 people. We were in a truck, they were in a little like 4-door Kia thing, I don't know, older car. We go past the tracks. To the left, it's so dark. To the right, there's some light, and you can see more of the rail going. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like this is all so creepy. It was eerie, and I had read somewhere that the cemetery was like to the left, and so I was just like, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't confirm that or deny it, whatever. So then my boyfriend was like, I need to pee, and I'm like, you're joking, right? There's no way in hell you're gonna like leave me in this car by myself for you to go pee. He was like, no, I gotta go. So there we go. So we pass over the train tracks. We curb to the side to some of the bushes that are right there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like don't leave me in here, don't let me in here. I was just like scared at this house, scared. I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm not one to get super scared or anything, but I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh. So he leaves the car, and goes in front of it and then comes to the bushes. So I'm on the side of the bushes. So I kid you not, right as soon as he left the car, I under the wheel, the steering wheel, I hear like someone scratching just underneath there. I got chills. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what is it? Could it be an animal? Could it be a raccoon? Something that got under there? I don't know. While he was out there doing his business, he was literally just right outside my window, like facing towards the bushes. And I was like so scared to even look out the window. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I feel something. And he came back in and the scratching stopped and everything. Once we were done, I told him, I was like, oh my gosh, like I heard some scratching thing. He was like, it was probably just something. Mind you, my boyfriend is like skeptical at this point. So we're kind of like circling around waiting to see what happens. So I told him like, let's leave next to let's leave this little area, because I was sketched out by the bushes. I was like, I feel like there's something there. We hop over the train tracks, and so we're close to that other car. We circle around and like we're like, okay, let's try doing the whole train track thing where you leave your car in neutral, you turn it off, and you see if it moves. So we did that. I kid you not, it started moving. I was recording the whole thing. I was like, oh my gosh. Like I started recording before we moved, and I don't even know, like I haven't even looked at the footage like since that day, but it like I caught some of it, but I mean I caught it in action, but since it's dark you can't really see the whole thing. And we were inside the car, and the car has tinted windows, and I was just so scared to look outside. Like when we were moving, I was like, oh my god, it's moving. And my husband was like, holy shit, like he couldn't believe it. My boyfriend, he was like, okay, let's stay here for like 5 minutes and see if anything else happens. We were not all the way over, we were like on the tracks. So it literally, whatever it was, pushed us from like one side of the tracks over the tracks. So that's going up. And mind you, the car was off, it's on neutral. There's no way that a vehicle can move that like that, you know? And there's all these things on the internet that say, oh, it's gravity, oh, it's like blah blah. I don't know. All I know is that the car did move. So at this point I'm just like, can we please leave? Because I was so creeped out. I was like, oh my gosh, I had chills. It was dark, that car was still right next to us. I was like not having it. And so I looked to the side, and I was just like so scared. Like, you know when you have a feeling like something's by you? That was it. That was the feeling that I was getting. And I was like, no, there's like, I feel like there's something next to me. And my husband's like, let's just wait it out, honey. Like, it's fine. Like, we're gonna be fine. We're inside a vehicle. Nothing can happen to us. I was like, okay. So we stay there. I kid you not, guys, I started to get lightheaded. And that's when I told my boyfriend, I was like, we gotta go. I'm starting to get lightheaded. And I seriously was just feeling like so drained. And so he was like, okay, fine, let's go. So we circle back around. There's only like one way that you can really go to circle back around. You have to go over the tracks, go by the creepy bushes, and then come circle back around. And so that's what we did. And he stopped a little bit, and then I didn't know why he stopped at first. So if you look at the track themselves, it goes like up and then down. You know, kind of like, since the rail is a little bit up, and then there's the road. And I don't know if if that makes sense. I'll insert a picture of it here somewhere. I actually caught footage of it, but since it's so dark, it's not the best footage. But I'll insert it here.
The kids are probably freaking out right now.
Oh my god, it's fucking moving though.
Yeah, no, it is. What do you know?
Oh my gosh.
Those kids are gonna try to kill us. I think it's just because we're kind of downhill. Those kids are probably freaking out right now.
Oh my god, it's fucking moving though.
Yeah, no, it is. What do you know?
Oh my gosh.
Those kids are gonna try to kill us. I think it's just because we're kind of downhill.
Let's just go. I saw something over there.
We got like
I saw something over there.
Those are just fireflies.
Oh, you guys have fireflies?
Yeah.
Okay, can we just go? Or if you
We got a minute until midnight.
Tom, I'm serious. Can we go?
Let's wait till 5 after.
Are those kids still behind us?
Probably. That's why I'm locking the doors.
Oh, yeah. I think we're doing this wrong.
I think we are too. If I remember correctly,
Okay, let's
we're
just go.
supposed to be on the tracks.
Okay, can we go?
I said we're gonna wait till 5 minutes after. I just locked the doors.
Can we go?
Not yet. 4 minutes. We have 4 more minutes.
I feel like dizzy. Do you feel dizzy?
No. I think that's just your imagination.
It's not my imagination.
Oh, it's not your imagination.
It's really good. Where did those people go?
I think they're just in their car. Yeah, their car's
No,
still
the
there.
ones that went over there.
Oh, they drove away.
They're coming this way.
I don't care.
They're coming this way.
I don't care.
Tom, I'm kind of scared that they're coming this way. I don't know if it's on this.
You ain't gonna do shit.
Tom!
Yeah, something.
I don't think...
What is that they were looking at? Was that a snake?
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like a snake.
Can we go? I'm getting dizzy.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's just stay for 2 more minutes, okay? It's almost 5 minutes past.
I'm seriously getting really dizzy. And it's not my nerves.
Okay, well, we will go. Did you hear that though?
What?
I thought I heard someone cry. Like,
Can you drive a little faster, please?
yeah. Well,
I think people... I was freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We just went out the same way that we came in. So, while we were driving, I was like, let's check the back of the car to see if there's any fingerprints or anything, because most people like find fingerprints, I don't know. And since I knew it was kind of dirty, the car was kind of dirty, I was like, maybe there's something. So we checked, nothing, right? So we are driving back home. It's probably like a 20 or 30 minute drive home, so we have quite a bit of time to talk about things. And so as we were driving back home, he's like, honey, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, I was out at the bushes. I swear I saw like a hand in the bushes. He was like, I don't know if it was like somebody who was out there, but one minute it was there and the other it wasn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so freaking creepy. And then I told him about the whole scratching again and stuff. And I was like, maybe there's a correlation between those two or something. I don't know. And so then he was like, and then when we were circling back around and I stopped, it was because I had seen like something go across our windshield and it looked like a hand, and I thought you had seen it too, and maybe that you were gonna say something but you never did. I was like, I never saw anything. So I was like, oh my god, this is so creepy. So we're driving back home and I look to my side, like outside my window, and I just stopped. I just stopped in horror, and I was like, honey, like, I got the weirdest chills, like, all over my body. I was like, oh my gosh, just even thinking about it right now, like, oh, my neighbors are home, gets me like so, still goosebumps, because despite all the horror, by all the creepy shit that I've experienced living at the haunted house, I had never experienced like something that was so imprinted, that was so apparent that anybody could see. So I look at the windshield and there's this tiny kid fingerprint, like it was probably like yay big. I tried taking pictures of it, but none of the pictures would fully capture what was on that windshield. Like, it was right in the section of the window where I was like super scared to look. And so I could see, it's probably like the fingerprint, I would say, of a kid between like 4 and 6, like a tiny hand. And I was like, in my head, I was like, maybe it was one of the kids, you know. But there's no kids that live near my boyfriend's house, or the nieces and nephews are not that small. Nowhere in the neighborhood are there kids that small. So I was like, where could this fingerprint have come? And I told my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, it was probably one of the kids that died. And he was like, holy moly. And so upon I was just observing that fingerprint. It gave me so much goosebumps, but I kept on observing it on our ride home, and I could see, you know, since there were very few lights on the freeway, I would catch like glimpses of it and all that jazz. So I saw that the fingerprints, it was clearly made out, like the palm and the fingers, but I couldn't see fingerprints. It was so bizarre because it was like zigzags, like Z's, like if someone had like created zigzags with their hand. It was just the strangest thing, but it wasn't like, how do I explain it? You know, if you go like this on a window, it would smear your fingerprints. Well, this one was like zigzags and it wasn't smeared. So there's no way that could have occurred. It just doesn't make sense. And so then we get to the house, and on our way home, we actually called my boyfriend's dad. Well, like, he called us. He was like, how did you guys, how was it? Like, were you guys okay? Because he was worried about us and our safety. It was like Saturday night. And so we were like, yeah, we're on our way home. Like, you won't believe what happened. We explained everything. So once we get there, it's like, once we get back home, it's probably like 1 a.m. 1 or 1:30 a.m. We got Whataburger and all this. So we get back home and we start observing the window. So we get back home and we start observing the window with my boyfriend's dad. And so we bring out all these, he brings out a flashlight, we bring out our phones, turn on the light on our camera phones and everything, and we make another discovery. So I have bad eyesight, but I don't remember if it was my boyfriend or his dad, notices that there's a second handprint just above the kid's handprint that's a little bit more faint, but it looks like another child's fingerprint. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. And so I was just trying to take pictures and everything. And then the next day I also tried taking pictures, but it just didn't like capture the full craziness of it all. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, we were just in shock. We were like, wow, this is so real. And so, yeah, so then we had a hard time sleeping that night. We were like, oh my god, we were all shaken up and stuff. We were like, we actually like felt something, saw something, like the car moved. It was just shocking. It was different, and I would highly suggest, if you go, if you're ever in the San Antonio, Texas area and you go to the tracks, definitely powder your car, definitely go at night. I feel like it was a little bit more interesting at night, but also be precautious about your safety. It was definitely fun, and definitely catching evidence and all that of the paranormal is very, very rare. But if you do end up capturing it, you know, just be careful, because you don't know about like the other side of the paranormal spectrum. You don't know about all that. It's really you need some kind of protection. That's all I'm trying to say. But like I said, if you're ever in that area, definitely check it out. Just be cautious, take safety precautions, and enjoy it, because it's definitely there. And I mean, there's all these kinds of things on the internet where you can do research about it and all that. But just make sure to be careful. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little story. I hope you guys enjoyed my story, and I hope you guys can just take something out of it. So this was just my experience. Hopefully you guys learned or confirmed a couple things here. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe, and all that. And maybe I can do some story times on my other stuff, other haunted experiences, if you guys would like to hear it. Alrighty then. Thank you.